Living with CMT is like walking through life in shoes 2 sizes too big. Awkward, unpredictable, but never without hope that someday we'll find the perfect fit. Hi everyone, my name is Alana Kohler, and I am 17 years old from the land of 10,000 lakes, aka Minnesota, and I have CMT4A. I also have 2 dogs, a love for baking, and a firm belief that hope and humor are the best side effects of living with a neuromuscular disorder. I first noticed something was off when I tripped over absolutely nothing, like daily. At first, my symptoms were subtle: clumsiness, fatigue, weakness, that sort of thing. But then came the leg braces, and the sudden realization that this wasn't just a phase. This was CMT4A, and it was here to stay. CMT doesn't just affect the way that we walk, it affects the way that we dream, the way that we plan, and the way we move forward. And it's not just physical, it's emotional too. There are days when I'm so frustrated because my hands simply won't cooperate. Or when I'm too exhausted to do something, but my friends can do it without even thinking. And honestly, it can be so isolating. Not because people don't care, but because most of the world has never even heard of CMT. And when you do find the courage to seek answers, the journey can feel like a scavenger hunt. It takes a while to get diagnosed and even longer to find providers who actually know what CMT is. There's no standard roadmap for this kind of stuff, just trial and error and long waits and long drives and Googling things you wish you didn't have to Google. And on top of all the medical stuff, there's everything else, like navigating school and sports and trying to hang out with your friends when your body is saying, "No thanks, I'm good." That's all the hard to talk about stuff, but it's the real stuff. And it's the reason why communities like the H&F are so important. They create space for people like me to speak up, connect, and be part of something bigger. They remind us that we're not alone, even when it might feel like we really are. And let's be honest, living with CMT means you gotta get creative sometimes. I know I can't open up a jar without using rubber gloves, a towel, hot water, and a prayer. It's like a full-blown ritual. But even in those small, ridiculous moments, I'm reminded of how strong and resourceful this community really is. We adapt, we figure it out, and we keep going. Because every time we participate in research, every time we speak up, every time we support the work being done here, we're building a future where people don't have to go through this the way we did. We shouldn't have to fight this hard just to understand our own condition. And that's where research changes everything. Every day, we're one step closer to a breakthrough. Take CMT4A, for example. CMT4A is caused by a mutation in a single gene, GDAP1, and right now, researchers are exploring new gene therapies that could change everything. Clinical trials aren't just about medicine, they're about momentum. They bridge the gap between what if and what's next. Whether you have CMT or you're just a supporter, your advocacy literally fuels the science. Getting to clinical trials isn't just about medicine, it's about momentum, okay? So here's what I'm asking. If you can, enroll in a study. If you can't, spread the word. Donate, advocate, talk to your representatives. Or if you're like me and occasionally trip and fall over air, just fall loudly enough that people notice and give them a sales pitch on CMT. Because the future is built by people that show up. And I want to live in a future where the words, "there is no cure," turn into, "we found one." CMT may shape how I move throughout this world, but it doesn't get to decide where I'm going. I have big dreams, a loud voice, and a stubborn belief that we can change what CMT means for everyone. So let's lace up our shoes, orthotic or not, and keep walking toward a cure. Let's support the research, let's share our stories, let's remind the world that CMT deserves attention, action, and answers. I may trip sometimes, but not when it comes to fighting for a cure.